Hello, hello, hello. Oh, hang on, let me just move this out of the way. Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Benney Babbles with me. Again, I'm Benney. This is the place where I do all my babbling. And tonight, folks, we've got an international guest all the way from Quebec, Canada. Give a big round of applause to Silvie Silver. Welcome to the show, Silvie.
Thank you so much.
It's fine. Ex-professional wrestler, entrepreneur. What else do I add to that list?
There is way too much on the list. You must Google it.
So, welcome to the show. Thank you for agreeing to come on.
No, of course. You're my friend.
And we've been talking for a long time now on Instagram, and I followed you because you're a wrestler, and I'm mad on wrestling, and and you followed my Blue Life Sculpting page back, and we've had conversations over the years, but this is the first time we've ever had a proper conversation.
That's true. That's true. You know, it's funny you said mud wrestling. I think I've done that once. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you've done mud wrestling as well. Oh,
I think one time, long time ago, but
a long time ago.
It's not fun. maybe fun for the viewer, but not for the wrestler.
No. I can imagine. Well, I've done some wrestling myself. Only once. It was a dream come true for me. I used to go and watch regular wrestling in South Wales, and I got to know I knew the promoter, and then I got to know the wrestlers, and they found out that I was a huge fan, and I do this Elvis character, and they let me do it as him. It was like a Royal Rumble. I went in, and then I got thrown about and got chucked out straight away. But I achieved my dream.
Oh, good for you. I think Royal Rumbles are so much fun.
Oh, yeah.
It's just everything comes in your way, and it's just like, you're looking at the person, it's like, really? And it just goes. So it's not planned, it's not nothing, it just goes.
Yeah, just go with it, and it was fantastic. I came out. I was on a high for months afterwards. Like, I can't believe I did it. I think I was 47, and I finally did it. I'm not DDT though.
Oh my God, I've been here for a long time.
Yeah. So when did you start wrestling?
I started very late, actually. Late. It's never late to start. So that's just one thing. But I guess for other people's standards, I started late. So I had to be, I think maybe 30, 31, something like that. Obviously, right. I had to lie about my age at the time. I looked a lot younger than 30. And but nobody likes a 30 years old in the ring. They want 20. But I looked pretty good, so I was able to pull off at the age when I started out, and then I was like, I did good. I did good for myself.
Yeah, I've been watching some of your matches on YouTube now this afternoon, and
some of them are funny, eh?
Yeah, it was what was the one? It was GNW, and you were fighting Melina, and you won your title. Yeah.
Oh, the French girl, yeah.
Yeah. And there was another one as well. I can't remember what the other one was. Yeah, but there was quite a few I watched, but that's the one that I made a note of because you won your title. So yeah, I was like, that was awesome. But so at the moment, then you're entrepreneur as well. What are you doing anything? Launching anything at the moment or soon?
Can you repeat that? I'm doing what?
Are you launching anything like a new product or anything coming soon?
That might be. It's your English talk, but I don't know that word you just said.
Tell us about your makeup.
I get it. Yeah, I'm doing great. I have a wine tour company in Niagara region in Canada.
Yeah.
It's a big wine country. People, visiting from all over the world, literally from everywhere. It's beautiful wine here. I'm very lucky to be so close to it and utilizing it. Um, Maybe not many people know, but I'm also a professional sommelier because I am at an advanced level
Yeah.
because I was always so interested in wine. Now I can be a certified wine drinker, I guess. Um, so I said to myself, you know what? Like, why I'm trying to even get a job or like whatnot? I mean, like, who knows where I'm going to ending up, which winery is. I really didn't want to take that. I was at a certain level in my life where am I really gonna take a job? At an entry level. So I just opened my own company,
You do.
and yeah, and it's been 3 years. 3 years. This is gonna be the fourth year, and it's going really, really well.
Brilliant.
Um, yeah, I break in. I made a name for myself, and I'm running with the big guys. And
That's
hopefully next
fantastic.
year I grow even more.
Yeah.
So that's one of my babies, and then the second, it's I just recently launched my makeup line. When I was in wrestling, and even before that, I had a lot of interest in makeup. First of all, I'm a woman. Most of the women love makeup, and I always loved makeup to the next level. Like when you have makeup for movies, but not not a beauty makeup, but like
Yeah.
a professional. Let's say I make you a zombie kind of thing. But
Yeah.
I never had a chance to worry about it. And now that I was bored and I knew the winter is coming, I'm like, oh, I have to do something. And here I am. And I did what I really wanted to do for a long time. And Silvie Silver beauty line is opened.
That's fantastic. I,
Yeah.
I, I love it's the fact of right then. What shall I do? I'm going to go and do that. I follow a very similar sort of pattern in life. I'm by day I'm an entertainer, and I do then my life coaching as well and things like that. So it's but as you know, as a professional wrestler, it's not entertainment industry is not the steady work, and we've got to find other things, and we've got to do other things as well to put food on the table. So it's yeah, it's really admiring of you, of starting up.
And like I always knew how much time I have. I mean, like I had an idea of the time frame I had. Like I'm not, somewhere else. And I try to use my position as much as I can for my professional life, or, you know, uh, if I can use it to, grow myself as a person or my business is now. And, why not? I mean, that's there. It's out there. It's always going to be out there. And it's so funny. I have a teenager son, and his entire school, oh my God, your mother, Silvie Silver. And it's just like all the teacher knows like, it's ridiculous.
Oh, that's fantastic, though. That is fantastic. As he gets older, he realize how fantastic that is.
I knew one day that comes when my son's classmate's gonna Google me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
knew that.
and he's going to be like, "Wow, that's my
That's your
mom."
mother.
Oh no, I think that's fantastic. And yeah, you stand out as a parent as well because it's yeah. I get that. I live in a small town really, and because of what I do, um, everyone sort of knows what I do. So yeah, my children well, they're in the 20s now, but when they were younger, your dad's cool because I used to go because I sang and everything like that. So yeah, I get that. I get that. It's yeah, it's quite good, isn't it?
Yeah, it always felt to me that I don't like to, like, if I do something, I don't like when people call it like your dream. It's not
Oh
your
no.
dream. It's your goal that you have to reach, and you have to reach it step by step. And it's funny that you do what you do, and it's very inspiring what your message is, and it's nice to see them when they pop up.
Oh, thank you.
And like long time ago, I was so interested in like how people mind work, like especially men at the time. I took a relationship coach course.
Right.
It was really simple. Like, I mean, it's nothing too complex, like how relationships or how things working, but people seems to
Yeah,
like
we
they
overthink
making
it.
it difficult.
Yeah, we make it difficult. Relationships are not that difficult. It's just we make it difficult, really, don't we? It's yeah. As most things in life, the
Yeah.
answers are quite simple. We just make them huge.
Everybody is a different personality, and everybody has different reality, the way they seeing things. So I can see things one way, and my friend goes like, what? You know?
Yeah,
So
totally.
it's like, yeah, the way you see it, that's how you see it. That's you, and that's me.
Well, yeah, you've got another job as well now. You can be a relationship coach, so that's another thing to add to your.
No, but that's I wouldn't want to be, but it was really, really nice to take the course just to, you
Well, yeah,
know,
I've done it myself. I've done the course myself, and it is. I learned a lot about myself just by doing that because I got to analyze of oh. I do things like that. Oh shit. All right. Okay. I better put things right. But I think everyone should do a course like that just to realize that life, relationship not that difficult. We make them difficult by being dicks.
yeah, or something else.
Oh yeah. So 30, you started wrestling. Why at the age of 30 did you think, well, probably like me, you'd always been a wrestling fan, but was it sort of, right, I've got an opportunity, or was it something you thought, right, I'm just going to go into this?
No, no. I started out late because I got married early for my first husband, and at the time, I think I was late mature, to be honest. And I got married early. I was young, and then I had a child, and then I had a very manipulative, really sickening husband, and he was poisoning my mind that I'm good for nothing and nobody likes me. And if I wanted to go in the gym, oh, why you want to go in the gym, just looking at other guys. And he was just like, I mean, and when
Yeah,
you're
very,
young, you're n- you're not, your mind is not that, like, I don't know, it's maybe not that open or not that developed, or you're not that wise. I don't know. So I had that relationship going on for a while, and then one day I said, you know what, that's not me. And I said, it cannot be. And I'm like, my mother never gave me birth for this. She didn't suffer me
yeah,
to bring me up, so somebody putting me down like that. So I stand up for myself. I really started to reading for a couple of years, I think, like self-help books and whatnot. And then I just, like, in my mind, it just started to grow, right? I'm like, yeah, and I'm gonna have my own place, and nobody tells me how to and what not, like who I was. And I went by step, like slowly, and I was able to move away. And it was hell, I tell you that, for many years, because
I
he
can
did not
imagine.
leave me alone. And I always wanted to be a bodybuilder, not necessarily a wrestler. And I started to bodybuild. Bodybuild means like naturally, not like, not,
Yeah,
you know, and and then all of a sudden I realized, oh my God, I look good, I look good, And I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe it's time for me to get like a professional coach, and maybe get me
yeah,
ready for some kind of competition. And I've done that, and I had a couple of really, really, really good coaches for women natural bodybuilding. and I was pretty successful in it very quick. And then, I mean, that's a type of lifestyle. It's
Yeah,
really hard. It's lots of
it is.
discipline, but the discipline teach me other things in my life. So it was a very good experience for my mind, not
Yes.
necessarily for my body, because it's a lot of starvation going on there. But um, I like my food and my drinks these days. But I've done really good for myself, and I won so many things in really short period of time, really. So that's not necessarily, maybe not everybody liked that so much in the industry. So,
Yeah,
people trying to like, oh, what is she doing? How she's doing it so fast? And well, there was
yeah,
nothing behind it. It was just my willingness and my discipline. And I said, no,
yeah.
no, no, I
People
want
get
this.
jealous. Yeah,
But it wasn't a competition for me. I just wanted to have the life experience. How does that feel? I want to be in that situation. I want to know, how does that feel? So I never, I know it's a competition business, bodybuilding and wrestling. Never done it for the competition. I've done it for the life experience and see how far I can reach
yeah,
with no struggle. And that's it.
yeah. Well, and because it's something that you love doing. It's that, yeah,
And there was
that's
I loved
yeah,
my body. I loved working out. I had a good life. I made it for myself or by myself with a little kid. I never had to go on welfare, never asked money from the government. I never had to. And while I was married, I was going to food bank to food bank. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that was I
yeah.
with a kid, and I was all of a sudden making it.
That's amazing and very admirable as well. It shows that, yeah, if you put your mind to something, you can get there.
That's it.
Yeah, and so, but why are you then wrestling?
So I went for, it's interesting. So my main thing was bodybuilding. I was really always amazed by those bodies. Like, I was like, oh my God, you know, like,
Yeah,
how do you do that? you know, and that was the main reason for that. But when I realized that I can do it, but it's also very hard to do. I'm not gonna lie. And it's a long process. It's not happening in one day.
no, no,
But when I proved it for myself back to back and back to back, like, okay, so what else I need to prove here now? Right?
yeah.
And then and somebody said, you should be a wrestler, Silvie. And I'm like, shit, I'm like, sorry, I don't know if I can say
No, no,
that.
yes, 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 yes. You're fine.
And I'm like, yeah, I should, because I always loved wrestling. I was a fan when I was a kid. I was like staying up late watching these people killing each other, right? And I'm like, you know what? That's my next plan. And I'm like, finally, something new and something exciting, right? Like,
Yeah,
and then, I know you're very spiritual, and I am very spiritual myself, and I do believe things are happening for a reason. And then on the day when I decided, like, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do next. I had a guy, like, I was working out in a gym, and I knew the guy. I knew the guy. Like, I wasn't friends with him, but I'd, like, say hi in the gym and a couple of words. So I'm working out. He comes. He's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. So how long you going to bodybuild? Like, how long you doing this? Like, for what? You look good. You proved it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm actually stopping because I want to move on to wrestling. He's like, no way. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I know. But I had no idea where to start it, how to start it, and whatnot. And he's like, oh my God, like a very close friend of mine used to be a wrestler in WWE. I can hook up with you and he can get you into training. And I'm like, that's a lock.
that's awesome. Yeah,
you know, who knew? And then he set me up with the guy. And then the guy put me into training in a week time. And there was and I was the next, best hope for Canadian wrestling. And that's how it all started.
that's amazing. That's amazing. I said it's thinking, no, that's what I'm going to do. Put it out there. I want to be a wrestler, and then that opportunity comes to you and says, what are
It
you
was
going to do
knocking on
next
my
then?
door.
Yeah,
Hey,
it
Silvie, you
was.
wanna be a wrestler? Yeah, that
But
was
it
it.
is it. Yeah, and probably all that positive mindset you had, with from doing the bodybuilding. It's right. What's my next challenge? Yeah, I've done this. I'm ready now to move my. And yeah, that's perfect. I think that's an amazing story.
Yeah, I've done so much. I've done so much. Like I am very fortunate that I'm so well traveled. I met so many people, some really good people and some not very good people, unfortunately. I mean, you know how it
I can
is.
imagine. Yeah,
But you have to pass that because
yeah, yeah,
that they keep you back.
yeah. They do, but it does balance out. Hopefully.
Well, I mean, like they very good building blocks.
Yeah, they are. It teaches us lessons, and as long as we learn by those lessons, otherwise we'll keep making them all the time. But yeah, it is. They are lessons to be learned in life.
Yeah, it was a very bumpy road, but it was a good road. I am very grateful that and I was keep setting up like different goals and what's my next goal and what's my next goal and where I want to go next. And then, I'm like, no, 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 I want to be in Mexico. Mexico is the biggest in wrestling. And I said, you know what? And like, time is coming, like I'm in like my late 30s and, you know, I'm like, how long I want to push this? My body's not, like, your bones
Yeah,
and
it
your
takes.
joints. And so I said to myself, and you know what? When I'm going to retire, it was like I go to Mexico City and I'm gonna go to the biggest arena and people are gonna yell my name, not for the fact to yell my name, but just it's a fruit of your work.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
for the energy that I wanted to feel, I'm like, that's when I'm going to retire. And I was just like, every single day I went into the gym, I did my cardio, which I hate and hated like nonsense. But it had to be done. And
yeah,
I'm just constantly, and I'm like, yeah, I put my music on my head, and I was just, yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, that's the arena I'm gonna be in. It was just, and like call it whatever, you visualize it, whatever. But to me, it wasn't just like I was already almost there, so I knew that I have the connections. But who's gonna offer it, and when, you know?
yeah.
And I was training there, and I was putting my time in and everything that, go to Mexico City so often and go to shows and do the shows but I mean that's the biggest promotion you can like people working from their childhood and in Mexico City you're not just a wrestler you have to have like a city license. You have to get
Right.
licensed. It's an actual job. and
Wow.
and yeah, you're being inspected. You have like you have a match by someone who is licensed by the government. It's an actual trade. And you're not going in the ring if you don't have the certificate from the city that you can, because you can kill somebody, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And I'm like, who is gonna do that? Like, and next, I was in, and I mean, like somewhere I do have the footage, and it's even like I was in Japan on TV. Like I had
Oh,
time. I with that days especially, and I had time when just a friend of mine, like because I traveled so much in Mexico, and one of the bartender in the Cancun airport is like texting me, "Oh, Sylvie, you're on TV right now," and I'm like, "Holy, it's kind of cool, isn't it?" And and then I know I'm like, you know what? This was it. I promised to myself. I've done really good, and I'd rather stop on the top than to going out like with pity when you don't
yeah,
know when to stop.
yeah, yeah.
And that's it.
And that is awesome, really. And it's such an inspirational story to say,
Thank you.
from where you've come from
Yeah,
to
I'm coming from a
where
little
you are now.
sport from Hungary, you know, and who would ever think.
Have you thought of writing a book?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, yeah. And what did you? Is it a future, something for the future? Could you still doing doing things.
I'm pretty sure that my story could be a really good movie, but I'm not a writer. I am not. Like, I had a couple of times when people had interest to write my story and it didn't go anywhere. I'm just not a writer. Even like never like I mean like don't get me wrong, I'm like my English is my second language and I done all my high school and college and everything in English. My English is pretty good, but I don't feel like that I have a good skills to write. And even on my own language, like I don't think if I would be a good enough of a writer to write a book or a script or a story or whatnot. I have the story, but I'm not a writer.
Right. Well. If there's,
Well, I
if
write a
there's,
few books, but that was more for my work.
yeah. But yeah, and that it is different when you're writing about yourself, because it's what do I put in? What do I put in and what don't I put in, kind of thing as well, isn't it?
I mean, if you want to, like, when you want to publish a book, I mean, I published like probably 5 books, but they were more like very technical books I used to own a beauty school.
Yeah.
So I wrote a few technical books for certain beauty procedures. But I mean, like that's like, that's the master of my art. I know, like, but I don't know how to write a story. I don't know, and you
Yeah.
really, really have to, before you publish, it's not just like you write a book.
No. It is. Yeah. It takes. It does take. Because I've wrote one book and I'm trying to write another one at the moment, and yeah, I write scripts and things like that. So maybe we should have a chat. You can tell me your story, and I can write it for you one day.
Oh my God, I think it would be really good. Like I'm European, right? So I know,
Yeah.
like, I mean, like, Hungarian TV at the time when I was on the top, like they were like coming on me, like coming on this show, coming on. Some of them I did show up, some not, and some they wanted to get me into this daily show. Oh, just move here, and we give you like an apartment and a car and this much money and that, and it's literally almost like kind of like it's a sitcom type of like reality, like it's reality, but it's kind of like
Yeah.
he tells you what's the reality about.
Yes. Yeah. I get
And at
the
the end of the
premise of
day,
that.
I was like, I almost did it.
Yeah.
I was so close to it. And then they told me that I was too masculine and I have to lose weight. And I was already so skinny, but because I was so heavily muscular, they told me to lose muscles. And I'm like, I cannot lose muscles. I'm like, I naturally just can't do it. Like how?
Yeah.
I'm building it for so many years. I cannot like, and I'm like, I'm not going to lose muscles now for you guys.
Yeah.
you know,
Oh, no.
like
And it takes away from who you are as well, then, doesn't it?
they told me if I lose a certain pounds on muscles, then the entire show is mine for the next whatever years. And they pay all my expenses, housing, cars, everything. But when they told me, I felt so offended, and I'm like,
I don't blame
I
you.
am masculine? Like, okay.
I know that is. I think I'd be offended as well. It is. And yeah, what what a strange one. Well, we'll have to talk. There's lots, and I bet there's loads more stories like that as well. So we'll have to write this, and then you're gonna have to come back and tell us more as well.
I know. There's a lot of stories here.
There is. So what is next now? Like you're launching your new makeup brand,
I did.
and yeah, and so that's obviously it happening for you. I bet that's quite exciting. Um, have you got anything else that next year you're thinking, right? Okay, 2022 is the year
Um,
of
yeah. Um, yes and no, because I was a little bit delayed with the makeup brand. Um, and just because the season that we are in and winter and gray and whatnot, and nobody really cares so much. I probably I need to do a brand campaign And I'm going to probably delay it until March when, nice spring is coming. People want to look good.
Yeah.
So I probably going to work on the makeup line and continue grow my wine tour business. I would love to get into like buying buses now.
Buses.
Yeah, I was an SUV, like I have SUVs for my company, but now it's going on buses. So
Awesome.
I would like to buy my first bus next year.
That's
And
fantastic.
or maybe two, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And I think that's my main priority next year because it's gonna be a lot of work, a lot.
Well, honestly, nothing surprises me with you now. Honestly, oh yes, yeah. I just gotta get a bus now. That's it is. It's fun. You are so inspirational.
I went and did my bus license, man. I really wanted to have the experience. Like, if I buy the bus, I have to be able to drive the bus.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what is the point? Because, when you own a company and for insurance reasons and whatnot, commercial, they kind of like I own the bus, but I cannot touch the bus because I don't have that license. So only the person who I hire for that bus can touch the bus. So I'm like, no, 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 no. So I can drive a bus, my friend. So if I have to steal a bus one day and just, like if it's I don't know, whatever comes up, I can take a bus.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So, oh my goodness.
I drive a 40 feet bus like there is no other day. I go like, no problem.
You'll be having a truck next.
Oh, with this license, I could get a truck. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I won't. I don't want to be a truck driver. I only did this for my business purposes, and that's it.
But no, I think that again is so admirable. It's so right. I could hire. Well, I can do it. I can do that myself.
I can drive an airplane.
An airplane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, there we are. I can drive a car. I can drive a motorbike, just about. But
a car is like that's just very regular.
It is. and I'm not very good at doing that.
But maybe now that you said that to talk about the book, maybe we can write a book together and you can write a script and somebody can make a movie.
There we are. I'm in the process of writing a sitcom at the moment. So the experience I can get from that, that sounds like an amazing plan. That sounds like
really
an amazing plan. Well, honestly, Silvie, it's been brilliant talking to you this evening.
I know,
Thank you so much for coming on. We are going to have a chat again, and you definitely got to come back on the podcast and talk more about everything that's going on. Thank you so much. So now it's just gone 5:30 in the afternoon over there, yeah?
It's kind of like the evening now. Maybe like 5:30 or something.
Yeah, and it's what time is it? Oh, it's 10:30 in the evening, yeah. So you've still got an evening to go dancing now. Look, and
drive a bus, or whatnot. Maybe I do a makeup on myself.
Why not? Well, yeah, you're advertising it. Oh, where'd you get your makeup from? Well,
or I just go and DDT somebody on the street.
No, that'll get you in the papers. Right, well, thank you very, very much. You stay there a moment. I'm going to say goodbye to everyone, and then I can have a quick chat with you then after we go off air. So just bear with me a moment.
Thank you so much. I'm very grateful.
No, thank you for coming on, and see you in a bit. Right then, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning into Benney Babbles. Thank you so much to Silvie Silver for coming on, and my first international podcast this year. I'm lost for words. I am babbling. This is why it's called Benney Babbles, because I'm really good at babbling. So I'm going to see you one day next week. I think Barry from Jack's is there, so we'll find out. Stay tuned and everything. Look at me. I'm a blithering mess.